Abusianfo Ghana Adishmaima Mimuna Aqua Basonko Edmeba RAZ Media GH on YouTube and RAZ Media GH on Facebook. I think say Nemuhumi Yepa. Yeah. I think say ne Bibia Edem kama. Assistant light, assistant Bibia. Now ene already Jacopo. Yakayo yakana mwantie. Now, there is something that we are mixing. You are mixing BBB. Now, I think say Saturday ni kwanse nkaya mixing kura. Yeah, they are mixing. They are mixing say Afenyo-Markin. Papa no oye. I think that man I find Afenyo-Markin so. Any pabia we have people near or so celebrating. Aye. So when you have people in so now we're gonna need bar, you have to celebrate him. You are a debi akoso ewo my Ghana since Eura John Dramani Darga Mahama Ebeji Abaniano Kitaya. Yes, Francis Williams Mwakwaba. Nema bi akoso ewo my Ghana in terms of politics. I'm a kind of political arena. And since Sembunuma akoso abet, emsa amanfo ani ayedai. Ansheda ankoho ye. Na one way Afenyo-Markin so hu. Senka Ghana fo nyina yenyantobo ase ekotie Vettin na papa no you na the audio yenka say ministers they appoint ministers they appoint omo deputy ministers they appoint omo say we Ghana ni ba na wutimi tie Vettin nyina ma papa no ene omo kasa di nkomo akosia niam bebre na ba wadwene ai ene ma bebre na ba wadwene one dey can say Afenyo-Markin has made it possible. Amen. So what Vettin now? You understand, sir? Anything that the NDC was saying during the campaign were all lies. Because where from MPP4 Asisagana Japadi nyina omo bokro no omo awia omo asesa Ghana sika omo di we ko we omo afa nipa omo ka asem no nyina no Afenyo-Markin in one way or the other otumi amoma komo nu masem say ye no kore a political talk one ma omo tu wani edisi hwan so judges ahodo so e wo Ghana man mu na omo ka de ense ene de emfata e de fa sabio Ghana a judge for who Afenyo-Markin atumi abon ho modene ama wo mo atimi aka wo mo anu mu nsem se ensem na na omo ka no na eyentro na omo nnim omo te se amanfo eka na na okoso omo ka Montaka Mohammed yemane tu na numutuo ton se sabio ono no owo fie e wo cantonment asase no otofiri Ghana ban ho according to him no fie no otoye no enye crime but before ansana sa Vettin we ba be hye no na NDC
Botelman that
na NDC for aka amayate se sabio obi biara wato Ghana ajapade afiri aban ho especially the MPP side no omo ya krofo omo abo Ghana for kro no na hwe odi yemkwenko tie Montaka Mohammed abra ono ankasa etu na numutuo e ka kire Ghana for se eye nokre so no ote hoyi oto asase e de afiri Ghana aban ho abra na andisi amanyokuo ena nete Ghana konwa so na to him no enye crime Why do I want to talk? What didn't I make us ask him we are not away? Meaning, I said, won't tell once I said, next time, when the campaign begins, we should not be quick to judge based on some politicians in the back. No. Let's get deep into the issues. Now, you heard the truth from behind the scenes of the political campaign platforms. Because a clear indication of deceiving people, all in the name of I want to come to power. With a young Konkoti Muntaka Mohammed, a brow catch the Ghana for you and say, or not to win. What was I say? At the free Ghana, a buying ho, a Wessi dying, a Sisua, or Teso, and Yabone. Politicians are illegitimate to buy government properties. But during campaign, on there, they say, I'm people for a real Ghana assassin. You couldn't go to this video. Mimi abuo kwajo mwakwa papa I want to say ibi hu wa chapa so opanyine me mawo ahao ya aja me mawakwa aba me nko tie Muntaka Mohammed ye ba ne ato
live you acquired your lease from government.
Yes.
So it was a state land that you rightfully bought.
Yes.
And you have lease covering it between you and government of Ghana through acting through
yes
as your lessor and you being a lessee.
Yes.
You also agree with me that you bought that land because that area was demarcated as a residential area.
Yes.
And that you bought it with equal right as any other person, be it a Ghanaian or a foreigner with the ability to pay.
Rightly so.
How would you feel if any Ghanaian suggests to you that by mere fact that that is a government land, you have taken advantage to acquire, that therefore you are corrupt?
Well, Mr. Chair, what I will say is that I know the whole of East Legon was the state. There are private people living there, people who had worked in government before, and others. Airport residential was all state land. People acquired them legitimately and are living there. I don't see anything wrong if it is done legitimately and rightly. And I've heard my colleague, the Attorney General, in answering question. If the Land Commission says they advertise, they say they are giving out this piece based on this procedure that is legitimate and you acquire, how can anybody say because of that you are corrupt? But obviously, as you may know, Chair, people have their own perceptions about things. I remember in 2013, in 2009-10, when the late Obutubi Gante bought the residence that he was in, and then people said morally it was wrong because if you were a minister and you were given a home, how do you end up buying it? And it went up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that it was legitimately done. So far as I'm concerned, if you buy something legitimately and others are saying that, oh, because of this, let them challenge it in a lawful manner and let it be tested. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, me about me ma utie me. Say astema yewura sabio Muntaka Mohammed kan ye OTB what you see ye pa. According to him, asase Ghana asase saban toma na woto a enye bone but during campaign there ye come amount for te say MPP for nsase so this video make a video with the trim there be a trim because of the video that I'm preparing to show you, you know, I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Just say, and sometimes this for catching during the campaign, we have a chrono, and we have Afenyo-Markin has made them each and every has finally confessed, said, some of them na ye tro na ye posire muka na omunim de omuka ye kam omutie no na omunso omuka so ha sanity also I confess it we will not end it here akwaba akubi nso ye say friend Brogya Gyamfi ono de at the end no opa achew very good and this is for me a shake and this is for a shake. I'm going to win election winning machines, machinery power, just to win election. One part or part show, I would nip a domain send some can know him the oka. But we, na a Juman and I do yet, na a to make us be a young for another boy, yen yantic, and some nasi, a jama head and throw a cat. Ntu de yenko kotie Brogya Gyamfi ne ho se de sifa ewo sabio Afenyo-Markin study ye ba beto asotie
Honorable nominee, in 2018 you sued the government over an agreement with the United States of America, a military base in our country. You confirm?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The time you issued the writ, or you caused your lawyers to issue the writ, had you read the said agreement? In all sincerity.
Mr. Chairman, I had an idea at the time.
Honorable nominee, before you issue a writ questioning an agreement, you as the one pursuing a legal relief should have read in full of that the details any opportunity to read in detail.
Mr. Chairman, I had read the agreement. Maybe not in detail, but I had read the document.
So, of the agreement, what did you find?
Mr. Chairman, I found between the United States government and the government of Ghana on military cooperation.
I don't get, I'm saying, that when you read, what did you find?
Mr. Chairman,
I was a moment here, before the election. Now, I'm more than an hour and I'm buying me where you're from. And some simply are no more trick. It may assume how this boy was dismantled with all the fake allegations that they made against Anna. It is not interesting to these guys. How Afenyo-Markin exposed them completely.
One of the things that I identified with the agreement was that it was not signed, the agreement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Did you go to court because of the lack of signatories to the content of the agreement?
Mr. Chairman, the lack of signatories was one of the grounds that I challenged that agreement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, do you immediately recollect the signatories but not the content of the agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I'm saying that the agreement was unsigned and presented to Parliament. And I, in my reading of Article 75, I believe so, that an executed agreement shall be presented to Parliament. And so, per my understanding, an executed agreement should have signatories indicating the agreement. And so that was one of the grounds challenging the procedure in presenting the agreement before Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
At the time you were doing your service,
Mr. Chairman, I don't remember exactly the month it was, yes. I did my service in Parliament the latter part of 2018. I may have to check. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
and what was the outcome of the case?
Mr. Chairman, the Supreme Court ruled that an agreement between two countries presented, in the case of Ghana, presented to Parliament for ratification does not necessarily require signatories, and that interpreting that signatories must be on may be a narrow and strictest view in interpreting the Constitution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You have a document with you, a 2-page publication.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You are familiar with that document?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I remember, not the document, but I remember a story like that.
Okay. Can you read the content?
Mr. Chairman, the document has a heading, Graphic Online. And the headline story is NDC Youth Organizer disqualified for forgery of signatures. And it comes down, story written by Daniel K. Kenu. And it goes, Mr. Chairman, should I read the content?
So basically, you were disqualified in your primaries because of those allegations, correct?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so why were you disqualified in your primaries?
Mr. Chairman, I was never disqualified. I contested and won the parliamentary primaries and represented my party in the 2016 elections.
So what do you say to that publication?
Mr. Chairman, it's a false publication. It has no merit, and it does not support exactly what...
Check the date of the publication.
So the date is September 23rd, 2015.
So what was published by Graphic Online, which you have with you, is false?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Did you rebut it? Did you write a rejoinder?
Mr. Chairman, I did. In fact, this is the first time I'm seeing this story, but it was reported in the news that I had been disqualified. and I responded to it, I refuted it, I supported it with pictures when I submitted my nomination, and I went into the contest and won that primaries.
Okay. So, since you rebutted it in a statement or interview, I think I would leave it there. But just to bring clarity, did you put out a statement to rebut this false publication, or did you grant an interview to rebut this publication?
Mr. Chairman, I granted interviews to rebut the publication. Thank you.
Then, you are quoted to have said that the militants at the Bondasi military camp, which was a facility we had with the support from the U.S. government. Upon these concerns, you also wrote an open letter to the United States Embassy suggesting that such activities could undermine the upcoming elections. First, did you write to the U.S. Embassy on this matter?
No, Mr. Chairman. It's like an open.
So that's what, yes, I've referred to it as an open letter. So you did?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's in reference to
that open letter.
Formally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The emphasis here is an open letter. So it was on your Facebook wall.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, the allegation itself, you had a basis for it, that indeed it was a military, the MPP Delta Force militants were trained military camp. Did you have a basis? Was there some evidence of that training, or it was a political statement? Because I can understand that it was in November, and in November we're all in. Could it have been a political statement as part of your opponent, or it was based on some verifiable facts, evidence of actual training and all?
Mr. Chairman, it was based on some information that had come to the attention of the directorate which I work with.
Now you are going into a very sensitive area. You see how posterity deals with us as political actors. Now you are going to be there wearing that shoe, that sensitive shoe. Tell us, did you verify that information prior to you putting it out?
Mame Echa Elizabeth Mwakwa pa. Abusanfo muntie yi o. Muntie yi pa. Besi nkrofo we. Omo adada yen up. But Afenyo-Markin so everybody should congratulate that man. So what we want to was edit the vetting process pa. Man, me say you will change your mind about the NDC people. And throw. Everything that they said were just propaganda.
Mr. Chairman, as you rightly stated, it was in the heat of a campaign. And so once that disturbing information was received, I thought that I should make it public in order that if there was anything like that, it could be stopped. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Having come to terms with the fact that indeed you did not validate the information, neither did you verify same. What have you to say to the people of Ghana in respect of that discretion you exercise?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we all operate in this space, and we are all humans. We may get it wrong sometimes. And so, even though I did not pursue the matter again or have any rebuttals, once I did not have physical evidence of NPP Delta Force vigilantes training at the Bondasi, I think that going forward, we need to cross-check and recheck information before we put it out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Again, you remember that somewhere in October, there was this issue of vacant seats in Parliament. You remember that issue?
Mr. Chairman, October last year.
That is so.
Yes, I remember.
And you recall the Speaker's opinion became a subject matter of a Supreme Court suit by my very self. You remember?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that you were the applicant in that case.
I was a plaintiff applicant.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
A plaintiff applicant. I mean, just for purpose of education. I invoked the original jurisdiction of the court and then made an application for some interim reliefs on the back of the main issue. Now, did you comment publicly on the outcome of the case?
Mr. Chairman, it's possible because I'm an activist, so I...
Honorable nominee, thus far, you have been straight on the issues, and this approach will help disengagement. You are now entering a sensitive area, and I will not begrudge you. It's not a matter of it is possible. I'm asking you that did you write on this matter after the Supreme Court ruled? Let's be very fair.
Mr. Chairman.
Abusamunti haye problem. Just listen. Oh, Afenyo-Markin so character assassination or a master or a pure master.
I think so.
Right. Now, you are a law student. You are studying for your LLB. And you know that the judiciary has its independence. Of course, you can question the independence of the judiciary based on evidence. Do you think that it was appropriate for you to have written that because you believe that part of the CJ is from Winneba, and the fact that I am the MP for Winneba, you were therefore questioning the justice delivery in the matter? Do you think that it was very fair and appropriate? Comment that came from you in a Facebook post.
Mr. Chairman, I remember that Facebook post, and I think that I was trying to generate discussion and have people talk about it. In the post, I hardly made conclusions. I was trying to put facts and leave it for the general public to discuss it. I don't think that I impugned any ill motive at yourself or the Chief Justice. And as you rightly said, as somebody who is crawling at the law, hardly will I engage in that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I would want you to freshen your memory of the exact words you used in the post. I want Chairman to review your post before we bring it to you, and it normally will require his leave, so I want to follow that due process. All right, thank you. Yes, please, can you read aloud the very post you made, the content, please?
Mr. Chairman, this is a post I made on the 20th of October 2024. I posted, "Is this true?" with 3 question marks. And I said, "Facts, not emotions. No, the JSC who sat on Friday to injunct an action that had already taken effect. These justices were all appointed to the Supreme Court by one person, outgoing President Akufo-Addo. 1. Gertrude Saki Tokono, JSC 2019. Mariama Owusu, JSC 2019. Ernest Geu, JSC 2022. Yao Asaridaku, JSC 2023. Kwame Adibu Esiedu, JSC 2022. Another fact of notice is that the case was filed on Friday, called on same Friday, moved on same Friday, and detailed ruling given same Friday. Also note that the plaintiff is a minority leader and MP for Efutu, Winneba in brackets. If you care, confirm for yourself that the presiding justice hailed from Winneba. You may form your own opinion to determine whether or not what happened is politics or law.
Before I delve into the specifics of this your post made on the 20th of October, I want to know from you, now that you are coming into public office, how would you react to a post like this by any citizen of Ghana?
Mr. Chairman, I think that generally citizens have the right to air their views, and as far as it is not injurious to me, I will take it in good strides. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So let's deal with the paragraph that comes after the name Kwame Adibu Asiedu, JSC 2022. In other words, that paragraph that starts with another fact. Now, at the time you were doing this post, did you know the nature of the particular application you were referring to, which was filed? Did you know? You were a law student. Did you know the application that had been filed?
Mr. Chairman, if my memory serves me right, I think that it was an application to set aside a ruling by the Speaker of Parliament. I think so.
So, yes, rightly so. But what I'm saying is that the very nature of the application, had you cited it?
No, Mr. Chairman.
So, on the basis of not knowing the nature of the application, don't you think that describing the application as having been filed Friday, same day, moved same day with a detailed ruling was basically born out of ignorance and also to mislead the public? Because you had not cited the application. You don't know what was filed, yet you put it out there questioning the conduct of the justices of the Supreme Court.
Mr. Chairman, I put it as another fact. If it so happens that that fact was wrong and that it was not an application filed and dealt with on the same day, then I think I got it wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, but let's situate it properly. And I just, for the purposes of education, I don't know the level of legal education thus far, because you say you are not done. But you know that in court, when you are filing a process to invoke the jurisdiction of the court, you can either go on notice or another way. You know that?
Yes, or ex parte.
Ex parte, correct. I wanted it to come from you. Now, you know how an ex parte application is dealt with, correct? At least.
The basics I know.
What is it? If you know, share. If you don't know, it's fine. I'll provide you that information. If you know, you can share. Whatever you know about, you can share.
Mr. Chairman, it's where a party goes before the court.
Right.
Without the notice of the supposed party to the case.
Correct. So when you go, it means that you are invoking some agency, correct?
Yes.
Good. Therefore, there is nothing wrong with a call for a court to hear you same day and determine the matter if you are going ex parte, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I agree with that.
Right. And at the time you posted this, you did not know whether the application was on notice or ex parte, correct?
Yes.
So I'm letting you know that this application was an ex parte application. And with what you've explained thus far, what do you say to this very paragraph of your post?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm allowed to seek leave and amend that paragraph.
Oh, this is a post you have on social media. So I'm just giving you the opportunity because now you are in public life. All right, the shoe has changed. So I just want you, in all fairness, what have you to say to this?
Mr. Chairman, if I knew that there was an ex parte application, probably that paragraph would have been put in another manner, not to create the impression of what the current paragraph seeks to create. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate that. Your next point, also note that, read it, your next paragraph, read it.
The last but one paragraph, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
Okay. Also note that the plaintiff is the minority leader and the MP for Efutu.
Okay, so stop there. As at the time you were writing this, was the plaintiff a minority leader? You had put at the top the facts, not emotions.
That was contentious.
The chairman, this is a
Because there had been a ruling. No, it's not a there was a ruling by the Court of Justice. The highest court of the land had made a determination. You are a law student. You want to join the noble profession. You want to be called to the bar and become a practitioner in our court and to defend human rights and the Constitution. I'm asking you, at the time you wrote this, was Afenyo-Markin the minority leader? Or it was a political statement?
Mr. Chairman, there was a political twist to it. Thank you, Mr.
I
Chairman.
will also defer to you as minority leader. That's why we occupy majority seat.
So
to the
now, it is one thing saying that I would describe the majority leader Afenyo-Markin as a minority leader, and another thing writing the minority leader Afenyo-Markin and having a caption fact. So having come to the conclusion that you were doing a political twist, what have you to say to this paragraph?
Mr. Chairman, I want to take back, and I think that it was unfair to the Honorable MP for Efutu, who the court had ruled, setting aside the decision of the Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. We are done with that. Chair, please. Once we are going through this exercise gently, I mean, there is no contention. We can't drag matters. I mean, the jury is out there, and it's... Ernest, I'm not exacting a pound of flesh, just for you to know that I believe that the quality of mercy is not strained, and it always drops as a gentle rain from heaven upon the earth beneath. So don't worry. Is that okay? We are in this together, all right?
I'm fine.
Very well. So what you are reading now, what is before you now, was also one of your posts you did in 2019, August 22nd, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Please read the post aloud.
Mr. Chairman, this is a post I made on 22nd August 2019. Ghanaians will remember President Akufo-Addo for three things. One, stealing and corruption.
Okay, stay there. We will pick step by step. Step by step. Brogya,
Leader.
at the time you made this post, had you any evidence of President Akufo-Addo involving any stealing? Because if you had said the Akufo-Addo government, that honorable member who has just joined Parliament, the greatest respect to you.
Honorable Minority Leader, just ignore and address the chair.
Yeah, Chairman, please. You and I are supposed to ensure order. Please. You're not a member of the committee. You're not a friend of the committee. Good conduct helps you to grow in politics. This thing is a learning process, so be here to learn. The posts, if you had said the Akufo.
Okay, Abusia, in fact, the Mayemi Panini Samuel Okuno, and Mwakwaba, so Yemi Kofi, a champion of Mwakwaba. Abusia, where? Hello, Katie, how are you? Hey, my back to our joining me now. I asamu. Are connected to my line. In any case, the reason why I'm playing this show today or this video is not about anything, but I just want you to remember, say, Afenyo-Markin is a great man. But see, MDC for no bubu April. Now let's go deep into this political propaganda campaign messages. Now omode eba abote. Look at how this man is going to disgrace himself in front of millions of people. Katie, come start to bene. Momento aso.
Government. I'm a politician, you're a politician. You can make a general statement.
Leader.
At the time you made this post, had you any evidence of President Akufo-Addo involving any stealing? Because if you had said the Akufo-Addo government, that honorable member who has just joined Parliament, the greatest respect to you.
Honorable Minority Leader, just ignore and address the chair.
Yeah, Chairman, please. You and I are supposed to ensure order. Please. You of the committee. You're not a friend of the committee. Good help. This thing is a learning process, so be here to learn. The posts, if you had said the Akufo-Addo government, politician, statement against the government, which is your bona fide, no problem. But I can say that there is corruption in the Mahama administration. But if I go and say President Mahama has stolen, it's a different matter. And it is going directly at him. Or if Brogya Gyamfi will be remembered for stealing, that's a different matter. So I want to know from you that this very post, Akufo-Addo, one, had you any evidence of any stealing by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the then president of Ghana?
The post, but I think that government did not show up.
Brogya, I have the character reference from 3 important people. I have it here as part of the due diligence we did. They described you as a very meticulous. I was going to read that to you as part of your virtues to encourage you in your ministry. Encourage you in your work as a deputy minister. You are very diligent and you are also meticulous. This post has been on your wall since 2019. We are in 20. You don't think that you can do better than what you've just said? You don't think you can do better than that? Thus far, you've done fairly well. Don't think that you can do better than this. You are now coming into public service. The man you described with these words turns 81 very soon. All right? He's human as you are. What have you to say? I know you can do better than this.
Mr. Chairman, we are all learning and growing in politics. I think that there is more room for improvement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No, when you say earnest, when you say there is more room for improvement, are you making a general statement of more room for it? There is a specific matter related to you, and I need you to respond if you at all want to make amends. But don't make a sweeping statement, Mr. Chairman, we are learning, there's more room for improvement. For the time being, you are the one on oath, and there's a specific matter related to your post against the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I said, what do you say to that? And I know you can do better than this.
What I mean is that the intent at the time was to refer to the government. And so once that was omitted, you drawing my attention to it. It tells me that we are growing. I was not.
Therefore, it tells you that we are growing and we can do better. Therefore,
and therefore, given the opportunity, I will ask.
In other words, the benefits of hindsight. Is that what you want to say?
Of course.
Okay, sure. So, on point 2 and 3, take those very political statements. I don't take it against you. You talk about family and friends, cronies, government. It's a political statement. 3, profligacy in government, political statement. I do not take it against you. However, don't you think that this statement, these 2 points you made, were just too much alike? Because in government today, you realize that there are families, relations, who by virtue of their role are getting appointment, correct?
Mr. Chairman, with the first part or the second part?
I'm dealing with 2 together. Okay, so let's deal with the first one. I agree, you are right. Let's leave the third one, the last one out. Let's deal first with the family and friends in government. And let me put the question properly. Don't you think that you went rather too hard on the MPP government? Because in this government, there are families and friends, relations, by virtue of their very work they've done for the party, are getting appointment because they've worked for it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think that if the government is populated by family, friends, or cronies, you may want to look at it negatively. I think that people can express their opinions if that is what they perceive the government to be, by not impugning any ill motive. And if I have to take from, because the 3 things were in reference to the introduction, that Ghanaians will remember President Akufo-Addo for family, friends, cronies government. If it's established that there were family, friends in the government, I think that that's a matter of fact, and may not, once I did not really say they have done anything that is untoward or wrongly, then I think, leader, you may accept this one. Thank you.
Want him to counter.
So, but at the time you made this post, you used the word if the government is populated by family. Was it the case that the Akufo-Addo's government was populated by his family members? Is that what you are saying? And if we count all the appointees, all the ministers, and we say that count how many of his family members were in, the context you put it, populated, was that the case?
Mr. Chairman, in all honesty, I don't know, and I could not have known all members of the Akufo-Addo government, but at least I knew a couple of family members who were in the government.
And you know a couple of family and friends in this government as well, correct? If you don't know, should I furnish you? Or you do? But you are making a political statement. I mean, let's be fair to the facts. Let's be fair to the facts. Yes, I've put the question. I mean, answer and let's go, whichever way you want to look at it.
Mr. Chairman,
Were you making a political statement? You should confirm.
Mr. Chairman, which one do I answer first?
Okay, it's okay. Let's
Thank you,
do
Mr.
it.
Chairman.
Ernest, what at all from this post, what at all was your problem with the Chief Justice of the Republic? Tell us, what at all was your personal problem with the Chief Justice of the Republic?
Mr. Chairman, I have no problem with the Chief Justice.
Was there any discretionary power she had exercised that you had a problem with, which you considered capricious and whimsical?
Mr. Chairman, from this post, I didn't consider any decision or the exercise of discretion by the Chief Justice which was capricious, not at all, from what I see here.
Ernest, you tag the person, Chief Justice and Minister of Justice. Then you proceed with Article 296. My question to you is that, to what was this post for?
Mr. Chairman, I was...
Statement. Was it a political statement so that we make progress? Was it a political statement?
Mr. Chairman, I was quoting the Constitution.
Fair enough. Move to the next. Move to the next one. The one you posted 20th July 2017.
Mr. Chairman, this was a political statement.
It was a political statement.
Yes.
So nothing was cooked at the MPP headquarters.
No.
Chairman, that will be all for the nominee. Thank you.
I was just saying, that is, sanity. I maybe than Asante, Mwakwaba, Mr. Say, Uba no like video, no, na wasan so a share account. 235 bear, Mwakwaba. At the saying, Mammy Katie at the saying, I was just a move. Entro. Assembly no we can't answer. All what they needed was power. So they did whatever they can just to deceive Ghanaians. Wait. Some of what we can from 2017 up to 2024, 7 December. Everything was lies. Let me be I entro. Assemble kukura niwa. Na sabi. Eye no kure. Ninyira na entro. Entro ayashara class them wa prane. Just to deceive people. Why do we do this to ourselves? And there was for not the one I can Ghana for cannot create Ghana for Muso Muntie. Any other than Asante cannot see the Gonja scammer cannot do anything to benefit the country positive than to create, loot and share. That was all what they wanted to do. Their intention was to come in and steal. Nothing else more. Yes, I'm more quiet. I'm more either. And to me, I deceive me. And power of good yourself. So from 2017 up to now, post back Ukraine 1 year. 2017. Now, you see, prosperity will judge all of us. Abusian for who to me free say who finish of fra who to me free na watch our drain. Afansema yeti yehu. I bet person me fa this ready can see pan to any. Say na your first time I waba platform we so. Mr. wa say bo modern na subscribe to the channel. Samsung who video we ya Mr. also say like a video no man can we say more live RAZ Media GH YouTube and I'm sounds for live RAZ Media on Facebook Mr. was about modern now we chiakwan Facebook so ka ho na support me so why am an apple so and then yeah, more than 14,000 people. And your numbers get to I know it. I know it. If the money I say, one person through to me free. Now, watch it, dear, one soon to me. I find some. I just person come on to us and say, these guys are thieves, and they will never ever admit even when they make a mistake. Afenyo-Markin said, the Americans say, and couple shall not to them quite number. No man who name dear. Don't to be coso. Enye na juma. Kwaya wafa soa. Oye ni ya. Na wamayati ya mwasi ye pase. NDC for the. And turning kontompo. One hour the buy. Mede mo besi ana sabi o na numre. 7 o'clock Italian time. Never life. Finally. But me are resolve some issues to be ana ekoso. E ofie mu ha. But then Yankopon adom. Let me solve be that. In fact, I'm so who crana. Put me say me imagine a very good, a very sound, a very calm. Because problems never fear a fan network and then I say for ne light and then I say for the no. That to me I saw Munina. Tia, the best she and I break. My mess was answer of a corner. Like a video no mamma. Sabio. A subscriber so said about life for Binya. Kaibo say about what the na yede.
Ciao ragazzi, oggi ho una vera e propria dritta per tutti i portatori di occhiali. Sapevi che attualmente è possibile ottenere lenti progressive in modo completamente gratuito presso gli occhiali? Sapevi che attualmente è possibile ottenere lenti progressive in modo completamente gratuito presso gli occhiali?
No, I bet you
back to one or so.
Very young girl. Mama joining our church and we take the castle. Men, there was a family that's Kate. She's a temo do patere from the church and we take the castle. But so can you say we're not to you. There was a family that's Kate. Maramanda to Messiah. Temo do patere. Now I was young for so can you say and I didn't see. I was a high RAZ Media GH on YouTube and I was live on so I was young for RAZ Media on Facebook. This was like a video to my share campaign. The piano, which me ambe kadi pardon no. This was like a video to have the share campaign. It's fat figures. Video dances and it did. It should be a group. That be about which actually title piano. It is not just show of title. Title be able to piano. That be about evidence to back. Title piano capacity. In Debusia, the Dobesia, yes, Asia, and then video Debusia, the Dobesia, yes, Asia, one to me can be a man. Said the RAZ Media, and Debusia, the Dobesia, Chairman, in our Panavia. The best time Asia. Daniel Santa Michel, I'm here coffee, a champion, we are putting some Mammy Elizabeth, a child, also Michel, Coco, and a fork with your eye, when you papa. It's your year, Pabusia, the best side, Esha, Trabuna. Video is no one to the ground. It's your year, Pabusia.
Yes. My sister, Mina, collapsed, and I'm a hat and quite a year, Juma. You could cool me, eh? Kobe and I said, me almost me hospital. Yes, Dr. Tro, excuse duty. Say I'm dying.
Hey, that's a who exaggerated.
I'm not exaggerating, I'm telling you the truth.
And you pay your coin?
Yes, go and ask them.
Away, you pay your fine.
Be and I.
Hey, now be a hat and one egg. Oh, Nana.
I am telling you.
Oh,
I am not lying.
You are not working hard in one
my whole body, I had a total system collapse. A total.
And so you were sent to the.
I am telling you.
I don't know who's here. Oh,
there's my at least we are saying, but
I also had in one.
Of course. Somebody, your internal organs. No, I am just telling you, your internal organs were not working. Ultimately, I am not joking. Me aunt to Hank friend. She took me there. It's me cry me quiet and cry. One minute, whom I have no more to think about my aunt and so on. Madam catch it out. Please, if yes, mango trees and papanity and mango tree is a one yes.
Mango tree at the
brutal.
Yes, they carried me there. Mango,
I had a sack my
the body in a total system collapse.
Yes. It's mango leaves no bit or see and farmer naming. I'm telling you. I feel no year 2017.
Now Dubai.
I swear. What are you talking about?